Hi everyone, Stewie3D here, and in this video I'm going to introduce to you VibeSDR Jr. So what is VibeSDR Jr? Well, it's quite possibly the world's smallest full WebSDR client. It basically is a full standalone client on your wrist. It doesn't need any iPhone, no. It just needs a Wi-Fi connection or inbuilt Apple Watch cellular connection. And in fact, it actually works better when you're away from the iPhone, because when you're close to the iPhone, it kind of forces you onto the Bluetooth link to save power. And the Bluetooth link has really garbage throughput. There's no way of allowing me to force the watch on the Wi-Fi when we're using VibeSDR Jr, I'm afraid. But anyway, I digress. I do apologise for the garbage quality. I'm having to use the MacBook Air's inbuilt camera on desk view mode. I did try using my iPhone, but it was a nightmare. I also tried to do direct screen capture using the inbuilt iPhone Apple Watch mirroring, but because of the amount of data I was pulling across through the Bluetooth connection for the SDR, the screen mirroring just was like, no, I'm not having that. So unfortunately, you've got low res grainy footage of an Apple Watch, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna, but at least it shows you it working for real. So you can see that I'm not faking it. No AI trickery here. The app is coded by AI, and I'm not going to lie about that. I do not know how to write a line of code myself. I understand the code when I see it being generated, like, you know, if signal is this, do that. But all the syntax, all the funky brackets and the arrows and all that, oh, don't get me started. But what I can do is come up with an interface and, you know, test the crap out of it until I break it and then report it back, let the AI do some more changing, and then test it some more and everything else. But, you know, it's named VibeSDR, you know, to lean on the fact that it's AI coded. And I know a lot of people do not like AI generated things. And so I make no effort to hide that. So yeah, with that out of the way, as you can see, there's two VibeSDR apps on this. So VibeSDR Buddy comes bundled with VibeSDR on the iPhone. And quite simply, what it is a remote control for VibeSDR. So you connect to a server on VibeSDR, lock your phone, put it in your pocket, whatever. Basically, the phone will stream a secondary waterfall to the Apple Watch, and then the Apple Watch can send all the commands and everything back to the phone, which will then interact with the server. All the audio, all the server connection is handled through the iPhone. You can actually start the iPhone app completely headless, so the iPhone can be in your pocket and tap it here, and you'll basically get the menus are very similar between Junior and Buddy. They're almost identical. But yeah, this one, as I said, the phone handles the connection. In Junior, it's fully standalone. You can use it without the phone, and as I said, it works better without the phone. So anyway, I'm now going to bring Junior up. So let me get to it. Here's VibeSDR Jr. When you open it, you're then presented with the main servers menu. So as you can see, you've got the custom servers at the top. So if you've manually added server addresses, you've got your favorites. They're listed by the amount of times I've connected to them. And then you've got your directory. So you've got your UberSDR directory, receiver book, Kiwi SDR, and I know the Brazilians absolutely love FMDX. So you've got some FMDX on there as well. And then you've got the ability to add a custom server. You go in there, type the address down, give it a name, and you can have it auto detect, and it will try and connect that way. This Junior will support nearly all the same server types as the main iPhone app. The only thing it can't do is anything sort of direct IQ, so RTL-TCP and Spy server, because they need their direct IQ and need decoding and whatnot, and it'd be just a bit too much on the Apple Watch itself. But for Kiwi SDR, OpenWebRx, UberSDR, and VibeServer, more on that in a minute, basically the watch will connect and run perfectly. So with that in mind, I'm now going to go to my main menu and I'm going to connect to my server, which is the MLA 30 plus. So there we go. It's just registering with the server. You've got the connection glyph there. That's just it's what it's doing is probing, working out how much data it can do, and it's just initializing the connection. It's just going to stabilize because it's compensating for a really weak Bluetooth networking connection. The networking on an Apple Watch, it's a watch. It's never going to be the best. But as you can see, it's now loaded in. I've got me music playing. Hopefully not too good and clear that YouTube will copyright strike me. So you can see I've got a full zoomed out waterfall because that's how VibeSDR fires up. So I'm now going to do the old double pinch gesture. And that has now turned the crown into zoom mode. So I'm now going to zoom in. And as you see, the waterfall is now drawn in the old zoomed out in rate. So I'm going to just tune up to 5 live, so I'm avoiding any musical risk of copyright strike. And there you go, 5 live coming in. Put it near the speaker, near the microphone, and you can hear it. So yeah, so there's 5 live. The waterfall's all drawing in. Digital crown is basically your VFO dial. You can whip that up and down. There is a very slight delay in sort of tuning before the waterfall moves in. I'm not going to lie, I had to put a small buffer in to compensate for Apple Watch's weak networking and the fact that when you're near an iPhone, it's always going to be on Bluetooth, which is the weakest networking possible. But you've also got service status glyphs here, and it's got an automatic link manager in it. So on servers where the link can be throttled down, it will throttle it for you if it starts detecting a wonky connection. So say you're on the cellular and you're in a bit of a poor signal area, it'll start to detect it, and it will actually start to it'll drop the server frame rate, and then once it detects stability, it'll pick it up. However, and it goes to show how good the interpolation engine is on this. So I've got basically frame generation, a bit like modern video games. This waterfall and spectrum is coming in from VibeSDR at a whole 5 frames a second. VibeSDR can do a maximum of 10, and it's on 5 when it's on Bluetooth to maximize the to maximize the Bluetooth connection, because obviously you don't want to be hammering it too much. So yeah, 5 frames a second, and it's all interpolated up, so the waterfall, the spectrum, all looks lovely and smooth. So yeah, so I'm going to tap in and I'm going to show you there's a lot of waterfall controls here. So I'm going to go into the display. You've got your auto contrast, brightness, contrast. You've got multiple palettes here. Look, I can flick them around. I've put quite a few of these palettes in. Yep. Well, I did. Wait a minute. There we go. I've gone the wrong way. That's why. There we go. So look, you've got all the sonar. So no, GQRX. Give it a few seconds, and there you go. Now it's changed colour. But I am actually going to go back to my sonar colour, because I love my sonar colour. That's my favourite. I did get that built in, because I used to be a sonar operator in the Navy, so this green waterfall just reminds me of being back in the Navy with the sonar screen in front of me. So there we go, sonar green, tap to set, and there you go, switch back. In that menu, you can change the signal readout to SNR, S9, the S meter, and DBFS. So yeah, you've got all. I've given it all the options there. But yeah, as I said, if I flick the crown, just off the tuning there. You do get used to it, but I'm holding it at a weird angle. I'm kind of holding the watch forward for the camera to see rather than me, so it becomes a bit more difficult. There's no sort of tap in, because obviously it's so easy to tap the screen, especially with like your sleeves or whatever. So it's all done on the crown. But on the crown it's great. Also, when you've got your wrist down and you don't want to accidentally be nudging the tuning off or whatever, tap the padlock. Nothing. Unlock it. There you go. You're back again now. So look, I've also built in, I've got Apple's double pinch gesture in. So double pinch once, turns it into zoom mode. I can zoom in a bit more. Double pinch again. That's your volume control. And then I'm going to just exit out of that. It will time out, and then the crown will default back to volume. So what I'm going to, not volume, the crown will default back to tuning, my bad. So I'm going to now tap the frequency bar. As you can see, now got a dialer. I'm going to go up to the 40 meter band. I'm going to tune now, 7150 kilohertz. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the menu and tap and go lower sideband. And then tap for a 500 Hz step rate. As you can see, we've now got the 40 meter band in. Let me see if I can get this tuned in. There we go. I've gone the wrong way, going the wrong way, going the wrong way. There we go. There we go. So that is, 40 meter band all kicking in. As you saw, you've got the demodulator and the step rate. Zoom. Oh, if you don't have the double pinch gestures on your watch, the zoom and the volume is also in there. You can change the bandwidth of the filter. You've got a squelch control in here. You've got a crown adjustment, so if you find it a bit too twitchy, you can make it slightly less sensitive. You've got a wrist down timeout. So basically, when you put the wrist down, after, so in this case, default of 30 seconds, it will pause the Spectrum connection. It'll keep your audio, but it will pause the Spectrum and waterfall to basically save battery. And bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to turn off the sleep focus, otherwise my screen will go off on the watch. So there we go. I've just done it on the Mac. But yeah, you've got then back to your servers and you've got a stop. So if I hit stop, that'll just terminate the connection and put me back to the servers anyway. And there you go. In fact, both of those buttons do the same thing. But stop is more because this will run in the background all day if you let it. So stop that. So where I mentioned about VibeServer, well, if I just move this out of the way, you can see a little icon up there, which, as I said, I click it and it opens up VibeServer on my Mac. So that is an RTL-SDR plugged into my Mac at the moment. So my Mac is now running as a VibeServer. So now I've just exited out of that. I'll now tap into that there. There you go. I am now fully connected to my Mac. So let me back out of that. Moto G35. That is a sub £100 Android phone. That's upstairs in my bedroom, and it's got a AirSpy HF Plus Discovery plugged into it. And I can tap and it should be able to connect straight in there. I've tuned it to classic because classic FM should hopefully not get me copyright striked. But this one is giving me some warnings because on that one upstairs I've set some of the public server settings. So eventually VibeServer is going to be able to be a network of usable, owners can basically connect them to the internet and share them with people. It's a bit like Spy Server, Kiwi, stuff like that. So on that, as you saw, there was a timer. It said this server's only got a 30-minute timer. So yeah, so I can now tap that and I can get the gain controls and everything for the AirSpy, so I can control stuff, preamp, FMD emphasis. So I've got the controls there, and yeah, that is basically a £100 Android phone. you could basically hotspot the Android phone to your Apple Watch and, you know, basically, you know, plug the RTL into that or the AirSpy and then, yeah, control it straight through the watch. So I'm now going to back out here, and for the Brazilians, because I know, again, I know that they love it, and for the FMDXs among you, we have, and I don't need to go into the FMDX server because I've got one in my favorites. We have FMDX. So this receiver shared, it gives you all the etiquette warnings. And I'm currently the only person connected, but I can send canned messages. Can I tune and all that, just to make sure I'm being responsible and not stealing the tuning from anyone else, because on these FMDX servers, one person tunes and you know, everyone gets it tuned with them. But in the middle here, the dial learns the radio stations. So at the moment, the tuning is disarmed, so I can't accidentally twitch my wrist and get the tuning going, which then tunes it for everyone else. But if I press this button to arm it, and I should be safe because I'm the only one in here, as you can see, Tyneside, BBC Radio 4, it's learning the stations. So if I go down here, I know there's, you know, stations down here. That's where Radio 2 is, and I think, and don't judge me on it, this is old Gay Pride FM, but they play some pretty decent tunes if you're into your old 90s dance music, which I grew up with. So this antenna is actually, this guy's got two antennas. He, as his Yagi, doesn't pick up Pride FM that well. Oh well, I'll switch it to the vertical instead then. There you go. So that's all in there. So you've now actually got a proper full FMDX client. Again, that will run on your wrist. I would show you the OpenWebRX because it does have DAB and ADSB, but over the Bluetooth, it may be a bit flaky. In fact, it does warn you when you first connect to an OpenWebRX server, which should warn you that the connection could be a bit flaky. And in fact, that's where you pay attention to that server, because OpenWebRXs have got no way of throttling them down by reducing the frame rate or anything like other servers have because of the shared nature of them. So I'm hoping I'm not going to slam the bandwidth, but what I'll do, I'll quickly tune to, I'm not going to play the audio because it's just music anyway, but look, you've got the SDR National DAB server, DAB radio. Look, there's the multiplex, all the stations are there. Again, you can tune them and play them, and in fact, have I just killed it because of the server? Yeah, there you go, the server's binned me, so I need to actually get that sorted. So I'm now going to scroll down to ADSB. Oh, wait, where's my ADSB? Wait a second. My OpenWebRX is being stupid. Oh, that's why it's put it in the wrong order. That's the RS. So earlier, the SDR play was at the top, and the RTL-SDR was on the underneath. It's flipped now. So the ADSB profile is there. And look, it's going to show you the aircraft from the server. And if I press that, this is cool. Yeah, I put a map in, so you can look at the ADSB stuff on a map on your Apple Watch. But anyway, that is VibeSDR Jr on the Apple Watch. It's going to be a separate release in the App Store, and it's going to be priced at 99p. So the main app is going to be $2.99, and it comes with VibeSDR Buddy. And VibeSDR Jr will be in the Apple Watch App Store, so you'll be able to get it from the watch itself. You don't even have to have the phone. And in fact, if you didn't want to buy VibeSDR for the phone, you don't need to have it to have VibeSDR Jr. You'll be able to just buy it directly from the Apple Watch App Store on your wrist. And yeah, and it will just work. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy VibeSDR Jr as much as I enjoyed building it. Thanks. Bye.